originally caved to President Donald Trump. He says Kimmel's return on ABC, quote, puts the network in jeopardy. He adds, quote, we're going to test ABC out on this. Sinclair and Nexstar Media are continuing to preempt the show on their stations. The FCC chair applauds them for what he calls standing up to a national programmer. The preemptions are a financial hit for Disney. Some analysts say a boycott from Kimmel fans would have been worse.
Money was the impetus for the first decision and pulling Jimmy Kimmel off the air, and money is the impetus for returning him.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Trump's post also suggests he'll extract a financial price for Kimmel's return. He writes, quote, last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. Dr. Canervo, where's the line between holding a public figure accountable for controversial remarks and censoring them under political or financial pressure?
Well, I don't think there should be much of a line, frankly. It seems to me that we don't need to hold public officials accountable for their speech because of the First Amendment unless they have incited a riot or insurrection, as was done, I might add, January 6th of 2001 by our current president. But other than that, hate speech is protected under the law. Controversial speech is protected under Supreme Court decisions. And so holding people accountable should only occur when, in fact, violence is the result of what they said, directly result of what they said. So Jimmy Kimmel didn't need to be held accountable. He said nothing which was, it was perhaps controversial, but it was nothing which created violence and nothing which should have resulted in any kind of punishment for him. It's very disturbing to me that, in fact, we've had a number of people either lose their jobs or be suspended around the country because of things that they have said that have upset the President of the United States or his minions working for him or trying to please him in one way or another. The fact is, the First Amendment, it seems to me, is almost a sacred part of the Constitution. You don't have a democracy without free speech. And you can't have free speech for just one side, obviously. It's got to exist for everybody, regardless of who they are, what they believe, as long as they don't create violence as a result. So I'm very disappointed that Jimmy Kimmel was suspended. I'm glad he's back, though not everybody got to see him because, as is true in Nashville, Nexstar, our ABC affiliate station, did not choose to show him because they were still angry over what was said.
Right. So he's got his show back, but not necessarily on the same networks that he was previously aired on.
That's right. And I might add that your earlier statement that Trump had said, well, I got $16 million last time, I might get even more this time. Mm-hmm. You know, that strikes me as the kind of statement, frankly, that a mob boss would say, not a president of the United States. And here he is trying to shake down people who disagree with him to get their money, to scare them, to hurt them, rather than trying to create a country which is strong and unified and which works together and honors the Constitution.
Yes, and to add to that point, Trump even said that Kimmel's return puts ABC in jeopardy. How unusual is it for a sitting or former president to directly pressure networks over content?
Well, it's I think uncalled for, and it's unprecedented. It's never happened before that I'm aware. that a president of the United States has threatened a network, a major network, over their programming. It seems to me, again, a matter of the President of the United States trying to shake down and scare people who disagree with him.
Right, and that's not the correct way to operate, of course. That is blatant censorship.
That's right. That's not who we should be as a nation. That's not what makes us proud of who we are and makes us stronger, it seems to me. We are known, and people come here because we are known as a nation of liberty, of freedom, of strength, and those kinds of threats simply don't add to that image of the United States.
Of course, and this isn't even the first time with this current administration that we've seen something like this play out. There was a situation with the Associated Press as well not too long ago. They ended up being kicked out of a White House briefing.
Sure. And that's certainly true, that in fact we have seen his press secretary go after people as well, verbally, and to say things which I think are probably inappropriate. Though obviously she has freedom of speech, the president has freedom of speech, they can say what they want to say, but it's not, again, just for one side. It's for the other side to respond and to give their criticisms, as well as the president and his press secretary provide their criticisms.
Very true. A free press is the key to a healthy democracy, and it's important to maintain that.
That's right.
Well, we'll be right back after this short break to discuss the recent United Nations meeting, so stay tuned.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Thanks for sticking around. To close our segment today, we'll be talking about the recent UN meeting. World leaders have gathered in New York City this week for the United Nations General Assembly. This year marks the 80th anniversary, and President Donald Trump addressed the group Tuesday afternoon. Correspondent Julia Benbrook reports from the UN.
This was President Donald Trump's first time addressing the United Nations General Assembly since he was reelected. And while his dynamic with some of the other world leaders has evolved since his first 4 years in office, some things have stayed the same. He weaved in and out of his campaign-style rhetoric, and at a conference focused on international issues, he really leaned in to his America First agenda.
But today, just 8 months into my administration, we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, and there is no other country even close.
The president aired grievances throughout the speech, saying that he believes the UN isn't doing enough.
What is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential.
Several ongoing conflicts loomed large over the conference, including Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine.
It's not making Russia look good. It's making them look bad. No matter what happens from here on out.
As attacks continue, Ukraine and its allies are focused on long-term security guarantees. Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. When it comes to the war in Gaza and the humanitarian crisis there, the Trump administration has become increasingly isolated on the issue. More than 150 countries around the world have now formally recognized a Palestinian state, with some of America's closest allies, including Canada, Australia, France, and the United Kingdom, joining that list in recent days. While those countries have argued that the move will isolate Hamas, Trump has said he believes it's counterproductive. At the UN, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Trump posted on Truth Social following his speech saying that he believes the remarks were very well received. In the post and his speech, he complained that the escalator had issues and the teleprompter was broken. He said that in the end, he thinks it made his speech more interesting and it was an honor to give the talk. Trump leaned heavily on his America First messaging. Do you think that kind of rhetoric helps or hurts U.S. credibility at a forum like the UN, Dr. Canervo?
Well, unfortunately, I think it hurt. It seems to me that saying that the United States is preeminent, kind of putting down the other countries, criticizing Europe for the immigration that's occurring there, that they're to a great degree letting occur because they have some sympathy for the immigrants. It seems to me that saying that the body in which you're speaking before is worthless, as he essentially did, that it didn't do anything to help solve wars, that he did that himself. To say that he was bothered by the breakdowns and the escalator and the teleprompter, it seems to me that that's kind of childish to focus on that. A newspaper this morning in London said that the president gave his speech at the UN and, in fact, ended up whining like a baby, essentially, because he was complaining about all these things. He was complaining about Joe Biden. He was complaining about Barack Obama. He was complaining about all his old nemesis. And that had nothing to do with the reason that he was there at the UN to speak. So a large percentage of his speech was, in fact, for lack of a better term, worthless, it seems to me. And that the one positive thing that I thought came out of the speech that I liked personally was more support for President Zelensky and Ukraine, saying that they should carry on, that they should get more support and win back the territory that they have lost to Russia.
Yes, there did seem to be more support with the Ukraine and Russia situation. This meeting also showed that there is a growing divide, though, with how the conflict in the Middle East should be handled. How does this affect America's ability to navigate peace in that region?
Well, it's difficult when, of course, we're split from our allies. France, the UK, and some of the other Western European countries, as well as Eastern European countries who are part of NATO, have decided to recognize the Palestinian state as a legitimate country. We are not, because the president said it's giving too much to Hamas to do that, but also I think it's because, of course, of his relationship with President Netanyahu of Israel. He does not want to offend him. He and Netanyahu seem to be pretty close, both in terms of friendship, but also I think they're pretty close in terms of how they operate. Netanyahu has been under investigation. We know that Trump has been convicted of 34 felonies. And so these people are not too different from one another, it appears. Netanyahu wants to be a strong, militaristic, almost authoritarian type of figure. And Trump would like to do that as well, I think, ideally, in his own mind. And so he doesn't want to offend Netanyahu. But the bottom line is that this split between us and our allies over Palestine is not helpful. And in fact, a two-state solution, recognizing both Israel and also the state of Palestine, has been the the United States policy for the last 30 or 40 years.
Yes, and it does makes sense why, our administration would align more with Israel because that is our ally. However, it's becoming increasingly clear that this war has been ongoing for a very long time, and there have been many, many casualties. Just on the Palestinian side, there have been about 60,000 deaths. About 1/3 of that is children.
Sure.
So it's very clear that if people don't step in, that this is going to continue and more lives will be lost.
Sure. And the Muslim states, countries in this world are important ones. And we quite literally all have to get along and live together peacefully. And for Trump then to side with Israel, which some countries have accused of genocide in Gaza with their extreme bombing and their lack of supplies, food, and medicine for those who are so desperately in need, puts us at odds with a lot of important countries in the world.
Very true. And we're going to have to see how this continues to play out over the coming weeks. But before we go, don't forget that early voting ends on October 2nd for the special election, and Election Day will be on October 7th. Don't forget to vote. Thanks for tuning in for another edition of Inside the System. See you next time.